Hi, I'm Alicia May, and this is Experience CTN, where we're going to learn more about CTN volunteers and producers who have supported community media over the past years. Today I'm here with Tom Wright, who has been a community producer since 2014. Hi Tom, welcome to the show.
Hi Alicia, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. I'm glad you could come on. You've done a lot with community members. Before we jump into that, I just want to know, how did you hear about CTN?
I was first flipping through the channels on Comcast, and one day, there you were. And I said, that sounds really interesting. Had worked in the past with PBS, Michigan Television, and as a result, I said, this is back to the roots of what public television used to be. This is what I want to do.
Speaking of the roots, you created, your first video was from your family history, your family tree, those roots.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that video before we air a short clip.
Certainly. My family has been in Michigan for over 200 years. And what happened is, before I produced the video, one of my cousins and I started sharing family photos, which we had never put together before. That's when I thought to myself, this would be a perfect video. My great-grandmother actually made silent movies. My cousin actually shoots videos. So I do editing primarily, even though I do some video production, but not as much as I do really editing and executive producing. So she worked with me to film a lot of this documentary outside of Lansing.
Great. So it's called The Michigan History, A Pioneer Family. Let's take a look.
Thank you. Today we are going to take a journey back 200 years to study Michigan history as it relates to one family. You might ask, why is the past important? The introduction of a group of books, Bridges of Contemplated Living, with writings from Thomas Merton, answers that question. Each chapter starts with an introduction to the texts that are to be discussed. Merton did not directly state these opinions, but they relate to his concepts from his book, Run to the Mountain. When each of us speaks, we are sounding the voices of our fathers and mothers, of our sisters and brothers, of each of our teachers and of our best friends. A human voice is never a monologue, but a mixed chorus. Our voices are living archives of every person who co-created the persons we are today. The formation of our superficial personalities and our deepest beings are the productions of generations of other voices that have imprinted their voices on our own.
Great job. I think it's such a treasure that you did this and you put this all together to have a family history in a video form. That it's inspiring. Great job.
Thank you very much.
So this video is one of the first you created with your family. From there, we just jump into working with a lot of different people, from Rotary Club, veterans. I mean, tell us, who else have you brought into CTN or even used outside of CTN?
Well, I have also brought in people from faith-based nonprofits. That is escalating rather dramatically. And I am talking to several faith-based national organizations about utilizing community television networks across the United States with their media that they produce and use, which they were not doing prior to.
Yeah, and it's another great resource for them as well, a service, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the Buddy to Buddy program and the video you've created for them.
I was actually the producer that worked with them. I have been working on veterans programs for over probably 4 or 5 years. U of M Army-Navy wheelchair basketball game I helped get sponsorships for. From there I moved to working to try to build a Fisher House or a Ronald McDonald House for veterans and their families. And some of those programs have all appeared on Community Television Network. And as a result of the latest CTN program, we have been approved for an $8 million facility that's going to be built next to the VA, a Fisher House, and locally a organization, Build It for the Brave, of which I am one of the founding members, had it announced by Debbie Dingle and Mary Beth Scupian from the VA that this house will be built in 2018, most likely, groundbreaking.
Wow, that's incredible. Let's take a look at that video, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Very powerful video, Tom, and thanks to all the veterans who have served.
Thank you. And that's not the only veterans video we've done. We also, in May of last year, had Lee Woodruff from the CBS Morning News, Bob Woodruff, the anchor from ABC News' wife, do a video to promote the veterans golf tournament we did with the LPGA Volvic Championship, which benefits veterans, being that it's Memorial Day weekend. And we are going to have other military sponsors taken going forward, and that has not been announced who is going to be chosen, but it's all because of CTN that it's allowed me to work with these national organizations.
Wonderful. So you have actually done a lot. You do the executive producing. I've seen you edit as well.
Yes.
Shooting some video in the Hotline studio. Is there one thing in production you prefer, or do you just like your hands in everything?
I kind of like my hands in everything because that way I feel that the message is going to be more succinct.
Yeah.
Having been in fundraising at the University of Michigan and other nonprofit organizations, I saw many times that messages weren't as clear as they should be or as succinct. Mm-hmm. That made me want to make and work on making the message as clear as possible, but as brief as possible, because people's attention spans aren't what they were.
Definitely, yes. Do you have a favorite CTN memory, maybe something that, one of your favorite productions even, or something that happened on a show or at a production?
Yeah, I think back to when Phil Booz did this whole thing about the 80s when I was in the studios, and it was absolutely hysterical. It might not have always been politically correct, but it was a riot. And the thing about community access television is we can talk about serious topics, but we also have to have fun. And that is what gets people engaged and wants them to get the training and all the other wonderful things that community access television brings to our community. And your staff does such a great job making everyone feel welcome, training them on the latest technologies, but while making it fun, which is not easy.
That's such a good point. I mean, a lot of our trainings are very sped up, maybe 1, 2, 3 nights, and these are skills that they would teach you in 16 weeks. So we have to keep it fun and engaging. Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Well, it's still not easy to do, but I really feel that more people in the community need to be engaged with public access television. The training and all the resources here that cable access fees make available to community members and nonprofits, it's a shame if you don't take advantage of them, because it's here, it's a resource, and not only are you on television, you're over the internet. As a result, it makes you a worldwide media, which not many other media options can offer.
Definitely, and I do have to agree with you that we're practicing our First Amendment rights, even if we're making a fun 80s video or if we're doing a wonderful PSA. I mean, you're still allowed to do that as an American, so I can't agree more.
And that's how we keep a democracy going, is by being able to talk about what we believe in, which CTN does. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Well, Tom, thanks for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure chit-chatting with you and getting to know about your next production.
Thank you. And just keep up the good work.
Will do. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more on Experience CTN. In the meantime, why not come in and experience CTN for yourself? Email ctn@a2gov.org for more information. To watch other CTN programs, visit us online at a2gov.org/watchctn. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at CTN Ann Arbor. I want to thank our crew, Matthew Drake, Jason Broniak, Kelsey Taylor, Robert Horn, Justin Wright, Phil Booz, and Rich Musso. And I'm Alicia May, your host. We'll see you next time on Experience CTN.